Hello, my name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. At the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy, we have free and paid courses that support you in growing your self-storage business or getting in the self-storage business. I'm all about supporting the small investor and creating true wealth and a real fulfilling career with self-storage. And we've been talking about the mindsets involved in creating a self-storage business. Last week we talked about the abundance mindset, scarcity mindsets. And one of the real nuances of this creating a business, literally any business, but particularly the self-storage business, one of the pieces of art, like the real art of creating this, is not judging what's going on in your business, in your life, by appearances. Like not having what you're dealing with today inform you of what's possible for yourself and for your life, and literally keeping your vision on, your attention on your vision of what you're creating for yourself. So let's talk about this. This is part of the real art of creating anything, but particularly your self-storage business. So I don't know what happened to you, but it was probably something like you begin to get that self-storage really was a fantastic business. You saw the benefits and the advantages self-storage has over literally every other type of investment real estate. You begin to get it, then you begin to say, I can do this. Why not me? And then you are all in, and you begin to create a vision for yourself and your life that included the creation of a self-storage business. And when you create anything as a vision, what immediately shows up in the world is the gap between where you are and your vision. 100% of the time, always, for everyone. That's just what happens. There's always a gap between where you want to go and where you are now. And what happens is the stuff in that gap is usually screaming very loudly, and you've got to deal with it. I've got to deal with it. If you're using the Covey model, it is the quadrant 1 activity. It's the crisis. It's the fires that have to be put out. It's all the stuff you got to deal with to fulfill on your vision for yourself. Now, what happens for all of us, myself included, is we start dealing with all the stuff we got to deal with in this gap between where we are and where we're going, and it drains us. It takes all of our energy, our time, our resources, and what happens is our emotion, our attention is all on that stuff we're dealing with, and we think about it sometimes, but what's really pulling us is all this stuff that we're dealing with. And that begins to inform us how the business is, what's possible for me in my business, and that begins to inform us what's possible in creating and fulfilling on the vision that we've created. Now, there's a real art to dealing with what's in front of you to be dealt with and keeping your attention and putting your emotional response in your vision, because it is the motion that creates the energy that pulls you in whatever direction you're going. So do you want the stuff in the gap pulling you forward, or do you want your vision pulling you forward? That is the real artwork, the nuance of not judging the world by appearances. In fact, who was it that said, don't judge the world by appearances? Now, I can hear the realist out there saying, there he goes again. You've got to deal with what there is to deal with and quit talking about visions and dreams, and just get out there and do what needs to be done. And I don't argue with that. You do have to deal with what there is in front of you to deal with to fulfill on your dream. My question is, what are you going to put your attention on? If you put your attention and all your emotional response in dealing with that stuff, then what's going to happen is your life is about putting out fires and going from one crisis to a next. And let me tell you, when you're going from one crisis to the next, putting out fires, you're never ahead of the game. You always have the experience of being behind, and it's not fulfilling in any way or shape. What is fulfilling is the experience of getting up every day and moving towards and creating in reality the vision you hold for yourself and your company. That is fulfilling. Not dealing with the stuff there is to deal with. Now you've got to deal with it. So I talked last week about this closing that was all jammed up because of the conflict that I had. And I really was dealing with all the stuff in the gap between my vision of that facility and our portfolio and where we were. And as soon as I took my attention, my energy and resources off all that stuff and put it back in my vision, the experience of moving towards closing began to happen and began to flow very naturally and begin to flow very easily. And I am the owner of an expanding, profitable self-storage company. Now, I didn't say that like a description of what I'm seeing out there. I say that like a declaration, like I'm using language to create and to reinforce the vision I have for myself and our company. And the other thing I do for myself is I create that my self-expression is found in the gap between where I am and where I'm going. That's not necessarily true. I just create that that's where I get my self-expression, and that's where I get fulfillment, is in dealing with the stuff powerfully there is to deal with in order to fulfill on the vision I have for myself and my life. Now, that's how I relate to the stuff you've got to do and keeping my attention on the vision I've created for myself. That's just my particular way of addressing it. So what I invite you to do, if you're creating a self-storage company for yourself or literally creating anything for yourself, get what your vision is. Be very specific. We're going to own a $60 million self-storage portfolio by December 31st, 2018. Very specific. That's the vision I'm holding. Now, behind that number, it's not the dollar amount that's driving me. It's what owning a portfolio of that size provides myself, my family, my investors, and what is possible with our exit strategy. That's what that vision represents for me. And when I get present to that vision, then I'm excited and I'm energized, and I have all the power, energy, and resources necessary to deal with what I've got to deal with. That's how I relate to the vision. Your number one step is create your vision for yourself, very specific. Number two, without a lot of emotion, without good or bad, describe where you are in relationship to your vision for yourself. Because if you can get real clear without putting a lot of emotion into it, then you'll get what's in the gap for you to deal with. It's when you put emotional response into everything you're dealing with, then that's what gives or takes your energy away. Do you want your vision giving you energy, or do you want the stuff giving you energy? There's real power in developing the skill to observe what's going on without labeling it good or bad and without allowing it to drain you of energy. That's a real skill set that every person creating a business can work on. And three, create some practice. Begin to explore different ways that you can create of dealing with what there is to deal with in the gap between where you are and your vision for yourself, while still keeping your attention and allowing your vision to emotionally charge you and give you energy. For me, like I said, it's using language to create powerfully, and it's creating that I find my self-expression in that gap. For you, what will really work is what you create for yourself. Vision for yourself, where you are in relationship to that vision, and a powerful practice for allowing the vision to inform you of what's possible and what's going on in your life as opposed to the stuff you're dealing with. When you do that, you will powerfully grow your self-storage company, and you will be a force to be reckoned with in the marketplace and in the world. You will be unrecognizable to yourself, you will be unrecognizable to the people in your life, and you will be someone who inspires others as well as yourself. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer, a financial modeling tool that we use for financially modeling existing self-storage, expansion self-storage, and building new self-storage from ground up. Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage.com, StorageWorldAnalyzer.com. Thank you, and go out into the world and don't judge the world by appearances. See you later.